You're watching Times Now. I'm Shreya Upadhyaya. Let's talk about what Pakistan's Field Marshal has said on American soil. Even as Donald Trump rolls the red carpet out for Pakistan's Field Marshal, Asim Munir, again and again, Munir not only contradicted Trump's peace president push, but he's once again managed to turn himself into a global laughingstock. This time on American soil at a black tie dinner in Florida's Tampa. In the latest, Asim Munir has claimed that if Pakistan falls, it would take half the world down with it, alluding to their nuclear arsenal. He went further, in fact, threatening missile strikes on Indian dams, painting a picture of reckless brinksmanship rather than calculated strategy. But the farce doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. In a moment of absolute unintentional honesty, Asim Munir likened India to a shining new Mercedes while dismissing Pakistan as a gravel dumper truck. Now, this analogy itself lays bare the stark realities of the two countries, highlighting Pakistan's struggle rather than Pakistan's intended bravado. Let's not forget, this is the same Asim Munir who proudly posed with Pakistani PM Shehbaz Sharif alongside a framed painting depicting supposed military operation against India, which eventually turned out to be nothing more than a Chinese military training exercise. And this is also the same Asim Munir, ladies and gentlemen, who had to face shame on you chants from the Pakistani diaspora during his visit to the White House last time. India, meanwhile, has strongly rejected these threats, saying we will not succumb to such hollow threats. The MEA statement says that India will not give in to nuclear blackmail. Nuclear saber rattling is Pakistan's stock in trade. The global community can draw its own conclusions. It also states that the remarks are regrettable, that they have been made in a friendly third country. It also goes on to say that we will take steps to safeguard India's national security. Remember, this is something that the government of India has reiterated time and again, this time, of course, in response to Asim Munir's hollow threats. Meanwhile, back home here in India, Congress MP Karti Chidambaram has criticized America for allowing such statements like these to be made, expressing concern over the implications of such remarks. Take a listen.
Asim Munir is threatening to plunge the region in nuclear war, saying if we go down, we'll take half the world with us. How do you see that?
Highly irresponsible statement, and what is most surprising is that it's been made from American soil, that the Americans have allowed this statement to be made from their own territory. This also clearly shows the cozy relationship the Pakistani army has with the Trump administration. We should immediately call the American ambassador and ask for an explanation, and any misadventure by Pakistan will be dealt with very severely by India.
All right, let me welcome my guests on the show this evening. Mr. Ashok Sajjanhar, former ambassador, joins us, as well as Maj Gen Rajan Kochhar, defense expert, also joins us this evening. Good evening and namaskar to both of you gentlemen. Ambassador Sajjanhar, let me begin with you and understand from you what you make of such a threat coming in from Pakistan's Field Marshal. The fact that he's made this on American soil, perhaps the first time that such a nuclear threat has come against India from American soil, and the fact that he is now, rubbing shoulders with Donald Trump, somebody who's pushing himself as the peace president and claims to have done several ceasefires across the world. At that moment, you've got Pakistan's military leadership declaring that they can nuke India and the rest of the world. What do you make of this statement?
I think highly deplorable statement, highly condemnable statement, highly regrettable statement. And particularly, I think all the points that have been made by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, highly regrettable that it's coming from, the soil of a friendly third country. As far as the United States is concerned, whatever Mr. Trump might have done to it, but, we have a comprehensive global strategic partnership, and they should not allow their own territory to be used for such purposes. So definitely, I welcome the statement that has been made by Mr. Karti Chidambaram. It's not often that we get an opportunity to welcome statements by, Congress leaders, but this statement I definitely welcome. I think he's said all the right things. We need to summon the U.S., of course, there's no U.S. ambassador because Trump has not although he's 6 months into his tenure, he's not appointed even an Indian ambassador. So, that really speaks as to how much importance he gives to relations with India. And India will also have to see how we deal with this whole issue in terms of both increasing self-reliance and enhancing our own, relations with other friendly countries. We have seen that, now Prime Minister Modi will be traveling to China, Tianjin, for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Yeah. He's going to meet Mr. Putin there and definitely, how to take the relationship forward.
Mr. Sajjanhar, you mentioned that India will have to think of how to deal with this now. Can I also then understand from you how startled should India be with America and Pakistan growing closer, considering the fact that this is a relationship that is perhaps older than the Indo-U.S. relationship? We've only strengthened it in the past few decades. Therefore, should we be startled at all that America is a country that uses Pakistan as its pawn, is now getting closer again?
Yeah, excellent question, Shreya, and thank you for asking that. You are right when you say that the Pakistan-U.S. relationship has been much longer. But I think if you look at the convergence of interest today, the convergence of interest between India and the United States are much wider, much broader, much deeper than they are with Pakistan. Yeah. With Pakistan, it's only Mr. Trump has come. He's looking at his personal gains. He's looking at the personal profits of his own family and his own friends, like cryptocurrency, like getting oil, like also as far as the country is concerned to some extent, in terms of how to deal with Iran if the United States has again to get into a conflict with Iran on behalf of Israel. So those are the very limited areas where the US and the United States can collaborate. The Indian account, as far as US is concerned, it is very broad, it is very comprehensive. And even in the past, the last point that I'll make here, Shreya, is even in the past, whenever the United States and Pakistan have been close to each other, it is because Pakistan has been of use to the United States. Yeah. When US was in Afghanistan, Pakistan made itself available for US troops and US equipment to go through its territory. So it is not that there has been any strategic convergence between the two countries, but today they are finding, in terms of dealing with some counterterrorism, etc., that they can come together. Good luck to them. But I don't think even, that it is going to evolve or develop into anything very significant or long-term, in my view.
And that is because of the fact that United States of America has always used Pakistan for its own vested interests in this part of the world. Let me get in General Kochhar into this conversation. General Kochhar, do you think, therefore, then that Asim Munir's nuclear threat is less against India and more to do with the fact that Pakistan now wants to cover up the losses that they have faced due to Operation Sindoor, what India has been able to achieve militarily against Pakistan's terror bases?
Thank you, Shreya, for bringing me into this discussion. You see, a lot of things have happened. A couple of days back, we had the statement of our Air Chief, and then we had the statement of our Army Chief, which I think has rankled Munir a lot. Because the Pakistan losses have been highlighted. So possibly one of the reasons which Munir is trying to hit back is through the nuclear saber you're rattling. He does not realize that India is also a nuclear powered nation. Yeah. More than 170 warheads we have with us, and Pakistan, smaller in size, will be decimated even if it thinks of trying the nuclear bluff with India. And we should not also fall for it. Second most important aspect is what the ambassador also actually mentioned, that it is worrying that such an opportunity is being given to a Pakistan general to speak from a soil of a friendly third country. And I think the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson has also made it very, very clear that it is very, very unfortunate that you go to a friendly country of ours and you speak against us on their soil. So I think the first action we would require the United States to Famin Munir and condemn his statement which he has made from the soil of the United States. I am expecting. I think I'm hoping too much, but I would see something like this. One more important aspect here is we all need to understand here is that United States had primed Pakistan when it went for a strike in Iran to use its air base for the return of its bombers, because whenever these bombers take a mission, there is always a plan B that they need to identify airfields which are in close proximity to those targets, and that is why we found General Munir first visit to Pakistan where Iran was discussed. And President Trump was very happy at the response he got from General Munir after that visit, and it was quite apparent that the United States is seeking a favor from Pakistan for using its air base against Iran. As the ambassadors also brought out that United States does not give freebies to anybody. And when United States needs a country, then it starts, this sort of bonhomie actually takes place. And one last important aspect is that we need to understand that United States should be very, very careful when it treads the line in playing Pakistan against India. Because I am actually getting a feeling, and I hope I am wrong in that, in my assessment, that United States is now playing Pakistan against India. Because the type of statements I am hearing from President Trump, he talks about some oil fields springing up all of a sudden in Pakistan, and he talks about that India will buy oil from Pakistan. I mean, it's a figment of his own imagination.
And these are attempts by Donald Trump perhaps to spite India, considering that there is already a tariff war that's going on. But Ambassador Sajjanhar, this entire thinking that the US is now going to be using Pakistan against India has become more and more, considering how Trump has been rolling out the red carpet for Asim Munir again and again. But then how do you see this? How do we counter this? Can we and should we be countering it at all? Should we be hyphenating our relationship with America vis-a-vis Pakistan's relationship with the US?
Thank you for that question, Shreya. No, definitely not. I think India's relationship with the United States is much bigger and broader, as I said in my earlier response, and we should not, meaning there is no hyphenation between India and Pakistan. The hyphenation between India and Pakistan was, declared dead when we had the visit of President Bill Clinton to India in March of 2000. And after that, you would recall that none of the major powers, major countries, however much Pakistan might have been trying to pose itself as an equal to India, it is not, none of the powers have taken it seriously. And it is only in this context, of Pahalgam and Operation Sindoor that even Donald Trump has been sort of, equating that, okay, I have mediated between the two countries and that. So definitely we should not be taking it. I think we are strong. And, if we equate ourselves, if we hyphenate ourselves, then the world will start thinking about it. But definitely, we have to look inwards. We have to develop our own strengths, economic strengths, military strengths, which is what we are doing. And also as far as our relations, as I was talking earlier, with other countries, whether it is with the United Kingdom, what we've got, since there are tariff threats from the United States that are emanating. So with United States, we've got a very good FTA with them. And hopefully with the European Union also we'll get an FTA, and we are talking to some of the other countries.
Yes.
That having been said, I don't think, Shreya, the last word here, too much should be read into Prime Minister Modi's visit to Tianjin for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, because our relations with China, although they might be normalizing, they might be stabilizing, they have a certain limit.
Okay.
They are, because we have lots of problems with China, as you and your
think we're treading that path with
well.
caution. We know that, China can't be completely 100% trusted. And that's, a path that we are treading with absolute caution. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much to both of you gentlemen, Ambassador Sajjanhar as well as General Kochhar, for sharing your perspective on what this means for India and, of course, the entire world as Field Marshal Asim Munir gives out these nuclear threats. Not just against India, he said we'll bring half the world down, so perhaps the global community should unite in condemning this kind of a nuclear threat emerging out of American soil. We'll leave it there, viewers.